I also would say that given what we saw happen in the last year or 2 years around women's issues legislatively, both at the state level and at the federal level, where many of us here who were in our 50s and 60s and 70s thought that, you know, some of the issues that we had faced when we were your age were behind us, such as access to contraception. Such as this whole issue about violence against women, you know, that we had been able, and those are just two examples. The whole sort of attitude about women and the sort of condescending and rather degrading discussions that took place in the public media and from people, men who were running for office across the country, says to me that there still is a major role for women to come forward at all ages and at all levels and to stand up for themselves and to stand up for what they need. And I'll just tell you, my grandmother was very active in the women's right to vote movement in the teens and the 20s. She was a terrific role model. She was one of the first women in Boston to bob her hair. She insisted when her name was in the press that she wasn't Mrs. Robert G. Fuller, but she was Genevieve Morrill Fuller, and that she marched in all of those, you know, early demonstrations to get the woman's right to vote. So there are other things today that we need to go out and stand up for and to speak loudly about, and also to think about that role that was mentioned here about being a mentor to your younger sisters, to younger women that you know as you move through your 20s and 30s and 40s, that if we don't stay vigilant, we see what happens as a result of the kind of legislation that was on the books both here in New Hampshire